Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you, Jesse, for putting this together. The first story that I'm going to be reading began a couple years ago, kind of in response to a story that my mom was telling me about the first apartment that she and my dad lived in after they got married, and the rather horrific roach infestation that the apartment had. Everything they did to get rid of them just didn't work, and some of the details that she was sharing about the roaches and what they did I found really kind of unsettling. It just stayed with me, and that apartment became the basis for the setting, and everything kind of grew from that. So it's titled Four Dustpans, and it appeared last year in Bound Off. Later, we always said, in a few years, we needed the stucco house in suburbia first, the one with a sloping aluminum roof and a royal palm out front, because both of those can withstand hurricanes. We needed two real jobs, not Jake's fake job at the meat processing plant and my fake job serving square pizza in the school cafeteria. We didn't have those yet. Instead, we lived in a studio above a garage. The brown carpet smelled like mold and urine, and the ceiling was speckled with water stains that looked like old scabs. When we moved in, we tried to make it feel like ours with posters and peace signs on the wall and a pet betta fish the color of fire coral. As much as we tried, though, the studio was not ours, especially the roaches that ate our posters at night and dragged our betta fish across the floor. One morning, I even saw a roach eating the birth control pill I'd left by the bathroom sink. The night I told him, Jake said, "I'm scared." He still had blood under his fingernails from work, and his hair smelled like dirty pennies. He wasn't lying, because after almost 10 years of marriage, I knew that when his eyes went unfocused and glassy, he was thinking so hard he forgot to blink. So I went down to the concrete block building on 5th Street, which smelled like apple pie and antiseptic. It wasn't as bad as everyone says, no real risk like the days at the wire hanger, just some pressure and a hum that vibrated through my body and a few hours of nausea. Jake asked why I was nauseous, and I told him. He was my husband after all, and he was scared too. The next day, when I came home from work, the entire studio was slick and oily and covered in dead roaches. "I killed them," Jake said, "no more roaches." We spent the night sweeping the roaches up. We threw away 4 dustpans full. The roaches are gone for now, but sometimes at night, Jake wakes up and just sits on the edge of the bed, his back to me, hunched over and silent, like he's crying or praying or both. When he bends over, his ribs rise from his flesh like welts from the peach tree switches of our childhood, wrapping protectively around him, not quite meeting in the middle. The next story is new, and it's called The Arrowhead. They find the baby on Sunday morning in the ditch beside the road. They are driving home from the vegetable stand. The salty warmth of boiled peanuts wafts from the back seat. His wife spots the baby first. She perks up and taps a long nail against the smudged window. "Pull over." He stops the truck and sees what she sees, an infant on its back, fist in his mouth. "It's just a doll," he says. She climbs out and leaves the truck door open. A dragonfly darts in, pings against the windshield, and zips back out. The air smells swampy, the odor of sitting water and saturated earth. She returns holding the child, who is red and squirmy but not crying. Mosquito bites freckle its forehead. "I can't believe this," she says, holding the child against her chest, like Moses in the reeds. He tries to take them to the hospital, but she insists on feeding the baby first. "Let's get him cleaned up and fed," she says. "Who knows how long he's been out here." The man relents. Back at the house, the woman digs through the closet to find a new container of formula and a bottle. He watches from the doorway as she measures the powder and dumps it into the bottle, then fills the bottle with warm water. "I thought you threw all that stuff away," he says. His wife does not respond, and he wonders if he really spoke at all. The baby drains the bottle within minutes and falls asleep. His wife reclines on the couch and lets the baby sleep curled on her chest. She strokes his downy hair. "I'm calling the police," the man says. "Someone's missing their baby." "They're not missing him," his wife snaps. The baby gurgles and wiggles in his sleep. "You don't miss a baby you leave on the side of the road." He does not say anything to her after that. She feeds the baby again when he awakes, giving him a bath, changes his diaper. She has kept everything they've accumulated in hope over the years, onesies, blankets, even pacifiers, everything they stockpiled before the doctors told them to stop trying. As evening approaches and a blue-gold dusk settles over them like a blanket, she takes the baby onto the porch and sings to him a lullaby the man has never heard before. For some reason, watching her there on the porch, the baby swaddled in a soft green blanket, he can't help but think about the day when they were barely 6 years old and found an arrowhead in the woods. They were just playing, not doing any harm really, just pulling bark off an infected oak tree, the half-rotted wood crumbling in their puffy fingers like old scabs, revealing the tree's skeleton, ashy white like naked bone. She was the one who discovered the arrowhead, black and rough and smelling like tar, embedded in the tree beneath layers of bark, like an Easter egg that had never been found. Finders keepers, she told him, grinning. At 8 o'clock, he finally gives in and calls the police. He does not tell the operator they've had the baby all day, only that they found the baby beside the road. Like Moses in the reeds, he says, then hates himself. He informs his wife the police are coming. She remains silent for several minutes, staring at the woods behind their house. The starved silhouettes of pine trees, the jagged fingers of saw palmetto, the small brown rabbits dotting the grass. We should keep him, she says. He's meant for us. Her voice is soft and flat, underscored with the same emptiness she spoke with when the doctors told them they couldn't conceive. We could always adopt, he told her after the verdict, his voice high with false hope, to which she responded, her voice wrung of emotion, with what money? He does not know what to say when his wife suggests they keep the baby. The world around him shimmers with dying heat from the summer day. This is just a mirage, he thinks. This is not real. He and his wife don't speak again. A whippoorwill song drifts toward them from deep in the woods. The dusk deepens to unbroken black, so dark they can't see anything except for the red and blue lights floating down the street.